So let us continue from where we left off. So basically, we'll be discussing about types of machine learning over here. So very quick introduction. Again, we'll be getting into individual types. So basically, machine learning is categorized into four. First is supervised learning, then is unsupervised, then semi-supervised, and reinforcement. So we'll be concentrating more towards supervised and unsupervised in our course, and we'll see a few examples also if possible with respect to semi-supervised and reinforcement. Okay, so now basically supervised again we can categorize further down into continuous target variable and categorical target variable. Okay, so over here when it comes to continuous target variable, we'll be going with regression. Okay, so basically regression, that is like maybe housing price prediction. So regression is like a statistical method used in finance, investing, and other disciplines that attempts to determine the strength and characters of the relationship between one independent variable. So that can be one of the features, and the series of other independent variables. Okay, so one dependent variable and other independent variable. So this is a statistical method. So we'll be going through probably logistic and linear regressions in our upcoming videos. And the next step in supervised learning is categorical method. So categorical target. So over here again, with respect to names only it is telling. So here it is like classification. Okay, so we'll be classifying the data types into something like that. So basically classifying them accordingly. So based on maybe different features. So this is just classification. I think the name only suffices what exactly it means over here. And also the example what we can give is like the application is nothing but medical imaging. Okay, so you can classify with respect to different images or different sections of the maybe parts of the human body or something like that. So that is very basic. So maybe different layers and different tissues. Okay, so those might be the application. And unsupervised, so basically here target will not be available. So basically unsupervised is something like the main difference between supervised and unsupervised is something known as labels. Okay, so basically you will be having something known as labels. Okay, so which will tell with respect to supervised and unsupervised. So basically here target variables are not available, so that's why we'll be going into processes known as clustering and association. Okay, so for clustering it will be like customer segmentation would be the best fit example. So basically you want to find out different type of clusters of people with respect to your customers, and ultimately you can just give them appropriate discounts or offers, whatever, for your business model to run successfully, and also to make sure the customer is getting back to you, something like that. Okay, so then is market basket analysis. So those will be with respect to association. And when it comes to semi-supervised, so here we have only categorical target variable. So here we'll be having classification and clustering. Okay, so when it comes to classification, so text classification, so you can consider that as text classification. Maybe you want to differentiate between noun, pronoun, objects, verb, gerunds, something like that. So basic example, even it will vary from many things. So maybe words which are giving positive impacts or negative impacts, or words which are actually crucial, which gives out information. Words might not be important, so something known as stop words. Okay, so these words is like the common filler words is what I would like to call. So basically this is the words are like is, the, of, as, something like that. And next we have clustering. So basically here like lane finding on GPS data. So basically it will like figure out which lane would be the best fit for going. So those are again with respect to maybe self-driving cars can be implemented this. So if you just choose the destination, it will maybe it will choose based on the best route, and also with respect to the traffic density. And finally we have reinforcement data. So this is kind of a special type. So here we have categorical target variables, or we don't have any target variables. Okay, so when it comes to categorical target variables, again based on differentiating between these and all, we will be working on data set, and also we'll be seeing them in detail. So categorical data is nothing but classification. So optimizing any kind of marketing. Okay. So that would be with respect to categorical and non no target variable or target variable not available will be like control. So driverless cars again will come over here. So again, it is like as I was telling, automated cars would be like with just not with respect to one particular this one. So lane finding is just the uh, part of a automated self-driving car, or lane finding might be even deployed on your we already use such kind of lane finding. So usually one best example what I could give is this semi-supervised learning is based on the Google Maps. Okay, so I would like to give one example. So basically, there might be smaller roads where the Google Maps doesn't predict. So it will just give you a route from your like wherever you wanna commute from and to. Okay, so like the initial point to the destination, and you might take a different route. Even Google Maps would never recommend. Okay, so maybe you're going in a two-wheeler or something. So usually, this will be like semi-supervised. So this will be a new kind of path which will be found by your Google Maps, and next time when you are trying to go commute from the same point to the same destination, so it will tend to show up that particular route itself. So again, this works in most like local areas. Okay, so usually it is not recommended since the roads might be a smaller one or something which is not suitable. So maybe if you are traveling in two wheelers and all, so just giving an example, even in my real life, I have experienced this. So here it is semi-supervised. So partially it is supervised since I'm going in that route for the first time, where again my GPS location is tracked down, and obviously it is semi since Google have already deployed this model where model will be taking care. Okay, so that is kind of semi-supervised, and I'm not even giving insights that just add this route and all, but basically it is automatically updating it. Okay, and this recommendation might not be given to everyone. Okay, so I think it is not universal since it might not apply to many people. So that's why it is like kind of again depends on the localites, I guess. So in my experience, wherever I've tried out a new route, that would end up showing only on my account, not in others. Okay. So next is reinforcement. Or again, with respect to reinforcement, we just look into it. So that is the control for driverless car. Okay. So what and all will be the control, like maintaining the acceleration and speed and all. So let us have a little more deep understanding with respect to what exactly these are. So first is supervised learning. So basically, when a data set that we are working with has labels. Okay, so again with respect to labeled training data. Okay, so these are called as labeled data. Okay, so they have some kind of labels, maybe for categorization or something like that. So in which it tells us all the columns values represent which category or a continuous value. Okay, so we perform a supervised task on it. So it will see with examples for better understanding. So now we'll see about regression and classification. So basically regression when the value that you want to predict is of continuous type. Okay, so it is just going in a linear graph, and classification would be like when your data you're trying to predict is kind of a category. Okay, so basically this image will give us the data and the line regression. So you can see it is like moving further in a kind of linear property over here. So the next point might be tending to be here in this linear line itself. So basically this is called as a linear regression. So we'll be seeing in detail in the upcoming videos. And with respect to classification, it can be like you are differentiating objects between class A and class B. Okay, so the name itself is self-explanatory over here. And next is unsupervised. So if a target variable or the value that we are trying to predict is not available, then we perform unsupervised. So basically, it is unlabeled. Okay, so we don't have any target variables. So the first thing is like clustering, where we group similar points together and then like differentiate with respect to the best number of clusters will be remaining. Okay, and next is association, when you're trying to find a pattern and try to recommend. Okay, this recommendation again is the kind of prediction. So basically here you can see three different colors with the X mark on a uh, on a two-dimensional graph. Over here it can be anything on the x-axis and the y-axis, but ultimately we are grouping similar points. Okay, so there is a huge difference between the red the cross marks from the red color, blue color and green color. Okay, so that's why we have end up getting three categories. Again, when it comes to real life data, it might be almost similar but not clearly grouped in this manner. Okay, so there will be a few which are very close by overlapped, and definitely our model doesn't 100% predict everything. Okay, the accuracy won't be 100%. That's what I wanted to say. And with respect to pattern, so basically, sorry, association. So here you can see like you have a data set and you are just checking with respect to item set. So basically here, what are the number of item data set? What and all are the items which are available? And next is with respect to the transactions. Okay, so something like that. So that is with respect to unsupervised. And next we have semi-supervised. So getting hands-on labeled data can be really kind of expensive and tedious data. So because sometimes getting the label will be manual. Okay, so you need a full-time role of someone who will be like sitting over there and full-timely getting these values, who will be fetching these ones. Okay, so basically that's why it will be expensive and tedious task also. So again, manual process is little time consumption. Okay, so getting a data set with some labels or no labels and then labeling some of them is an easier task. So that is why semi-supervised learning will come into picture. Now once you have data, basically you train the model on the labeled data set. Okay, and then predict the ones that are not labeled. Okay, so this is what we do with semi-supervised. The name only, again, it is self-explanatory with respect to the labeling. So this reduces the manual labeling time significantly. So basically you can name half of them. If your model is very good at prediction, so try it out your data set with respect to data set. And if it is predicting very well and good, so definitely you can just go ahead with just giving the model the remaining of data set for it to predict with respect to the labeling. And next we have reinforcement. So here the learning is continuous process. Okay, so it will be like repeatedly learning. So every time the model makes a wrong prediction, it is instructed that it has made a wrong prediction and it needs to rectify the same. Okay, so again reinforcement will be for like many iterations. Usually when it comes to supervised, unsupervised and all, we won't be going with much with respect to much iterations of this one. But whereas reinforcement, again, if the model has to know what exactly is the wrong thing and how it can correct itself, and which exactly is the right thing, which it needs to continue doing it. Okay, so something like that. So that is with respect to machine learning. Again, the cycle goes on until the machine can do its assigned task without fail. Again, reinforcement learning, you can have very high accuracy score, but again complexity is quite more when it comes to reinforcement learning. So that's all with respect to a deep dive into all the learnings. So now in the next video we'll start up with one by one. Okay.